Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel. It is a good one. This is a perfect way to go into Christmas. Chelsea end the run of 2 straight defeats, get ourselves 3 points at Stamford Bridge. Not just 3 points, but 3 goals, which at one stage today didn't look like it was going to be possible whatsoever. So we go into Christmas, as per usual, above Tottenham Hotspur in the Premier League table. I say as per usual, it's not really as predictable as it used to be these days, but once again, Jose Mourinho's Spurs, they're below us, which is absolutely wonderful, and if that isn't a good enough reason to hit the like button on today's video, then, well, I don't really know what is. I'd also like to ask you to subscribe to GBFC if you haven't already done so. It is an incredibly busy Christmas period, and I wouldn't want you to miss anything here on the George Benson football channel, and GBFC too. Because of my voice that you can already tell is a little bit croaky Dave today, I've actually taken a break from doing GBFC2 videos because it's been a bit of a pain to even talk on GBFC over the course of the last weeks. My voice has been strained. You can go and subscribe to that link in the description as well. Chelsea win 3-0. It is not as comfortable as the 3-0 suggests, and I do want to bring a little bit of realism in terms of the performance today, but I also don't want to shy away from a little celebratory video because we got the job done. We got the 3 points, which was all that today was about. We needed to win. After losing those 2 games, the pressure was starting to build on Chelsea in terms of falling out of the race that we looked a massive part of just a week ago. We know that in December, things can change in terms of the nature of the Premier League table very quickly indeed, and we almost fell out of the title race, but we're back in it again now. Liverpool have been kicking on recently. They scored 7, but it's another clean sheet for Frank Lampard's Chelsea. It's another 3 goals, and we're going to get into box number 1 today. And for me, when we were winning the game 1-0, there was only really one man who, for me, really stood out enough to get the first box within the video. And that was the man who scored the first goal, Thiago Silva. It wasn't just the goal. There were big blocks in there today, and he just brings that calm assurity to the back line. But let's talk about the goal, which is the main reason why we're obviously talking about him mainly today. It's a bullet header. It's a phenomenal corner from Mason Mount, puts it on an absolute plate for Thiago Silva. He makes a brilliant run into the middle, and how many times are we going to see this season where we actually see players running onto balls? We were really lacking in terms of set-piece creativity last season, and you know, I hate to always bring it back to Willian, who's having an absolute shocker at Arsenal, but Mason Mount can put in a wonderful cross of the ball, and for so many years we saw corners that just didn't beat the first man. Now we've got both Kurt Zouma and Thiago Silva able to attack these balls from corners, and Silva gets his noggin on the end of it today, and I thought he was absolutely brilliant. Now I move into box number 2, and I didn't want to focus too much on negatives, but I did say at the beginning of the video that it wasn't really a 3-0 performance, and I've given a yellow today for Timo Werner. He got himself a very nice assist for Tammy Abraham's first goal, which did really secure the 3 points today for Chelsea. But I've got to focus on him again because something just isn't right now about Timo Werner. And because we won the game, and he did manage to play the full 90 minutes, I think Lampard was trying to keep him on in order to try and build that confidence, just get him that goal. And he had 2 massive chances today, and this could have been an absolute rout for Chelsea if Timo Werner's confidence was at the level that it was at the beginning of the season. The first real chance that he missed was the one-on-one from about 8 yards that he hit straight at Fabianski. Looked as though he almost couldn't get it out of his feet, which was a real struggle. And then later on in the game, he almost puts it in the top corner, hits the woodwork, and when it's not going your way, these are the kind of results that these are the kind of chances that you miss. And unfortunately today for Timo, he didn't look on the pace again. I think dribbling, he looked almost a little bit confused that he even had the ball at his feet at times, which it is starting to become a worry. But obviously when Chelsea pick up the 3 points, I don't want to spend too much time focusing on it. It was an opportunity for him tonight. Personally, I don't quite think he took it. And considering the injuries we have on the wings right now, I think that is the main reason why he's playing. I think if Frank Lampard looks at both Havertz and Werner in terms of who can fill in on the wings when both Hudson-Odoi and Ziyech aren't ready, I think Timo Werner's done more than Kai Havertz in that position to justify him starting. But wasn't his day today in front of goal, but it was a really nice assist for Tammy Abraham. He kept trying all the way to the end, but his head kept going down and you can see that he's frustrated with himself and he desperately needs a goal. So I move into box number 3, and it's a green box for Mason Mount. I thought, again, even though we really struggled in terms of energy at times today, Mason Mount always brings that. It's an absolute given. I don't think there's many games where I could sit here on a 6 Things We Learned video and say that Mason Mount's energy was a little bit off, but focusing on his delivery, the corner again for Thiago Silva, it's put into the perfect area. It was a brilliant delivery. And then we could have had more. You know, Timo Werner was running onto it, didn't make it. Mason Mount putting lovely balls along the floor inside the 6-yard box, creating opportunities for Chelsea. He gets himself another assist today, and I think what we're seeing in Mason Mount's game, and it's something I've touched upon quite a lot here on GBFC, his chance creation is becoming one of the key people that actually creates chances within this Chelsea team. People have said, those who have criticised Mason Mount, that he needed to add goals and assists to his game. The goals might not be coming just yet, but when he's creating them for the abundance of strikers that we have, it's a brilliant sign and it's all that he needs to do. So moving into box number 4, again, I thought it was a very positive performance today for Christian Pulisic. Tammy Abraham gets himself 2 goals. Pulisic could have easily had one for himself, but I think the energy that he brought in that first half was absolutely brilliant. You see him when he's got the ball and he's running at defenders. I do resemble that of Eden Hazard when I see him. I feel as though he's got that ability to just ghost past players, bigger players than him. He was getting fouled in that first half as well. He looks really sharp again, Christian Pulisic. And I think it was a big positive that, again, he doesn't get injured. He doesn't have to come off because of an injury. And I think he played very well. I think in terms of an attacking threat, I think in the first half he was definitely the biggest attacking threat. I thought until Tammy Abraham's 2 goals, which we might get into in this video later on. I think you guys will slaughter me if I don't mention Tammy in this video today, but I thought Pulisic was definitely our biggest threat in that first half. Linking up with Mason Mount, I thought he was very good. And moving into that game against Arsenal, keeping his fitness. We've got a few days again now until that match on Boxing Day, and I think Christian Pulisic's form, particularly with goals and assists, is going to be coming very, very soon. I move into box number 5, and it is a red, and I know you guys will be thinking like, come on Benson, just relax, it's a 3-0 win, you haven't slept yet, and why don't you just get this one done with all smiling faces and go to bed? I'm giving it to intensity. Again, I gave it to injuries in the game against Everton, and I've got a little theory in my head about why Chelsea are really struggling at the moment with injuries, and I think it must be something to do with the training intensity and also the amount of games that are coming through thick and fast in the Premier League this season. All teams have got this problem, all managers have got this problem, but at the moment, I don't think it's a coincidence, particularly in wide areas, that Chelsea are getting so many injuries. Reece James wasn't ready to play tonight. There was a debate about whether he was going to need surgery on his knee. Good news is he doesn't need surgery, which I actually think I said wrong within my match preview, so apologies for that. Ben Chilwell goes off injured again in the 11th minute of the game, and I think this intensity thing and injuries go hand in hand, but for a large portion of this game, Chelsea looks super tired, and I don't know if this is one of the key reasons why injuries keep coming up. Today we kind of got lucky in a sense that we scored 2 goals in very quick succession, and sometimes you are most vulnerable to conceding when you've just scored. But West Ham, it looked as though, despite their dominance in the game, I think throughout most of the second half, they had about 80% of the possession, which is just an incredible stat. And considering Chelsea are at home, the fact that we weren't doing anything with the ball or even getting hold of the ball was a little bit worrying at times. And I think that on any other day, West Ham could have come away today with a point or even more. 3-0, as I've said throughout this video, not only am I delighted about it, but in terms of moving forward, I think Chelsea need to do something about the way that we continue to control football matches, not just with high intensity at the beginning of the game, but throughout the entirety of the game. And I think something that we've seen change from the Chelsea of last season is that last season we weren't so great on the ball, but we were much better off the ball. This season, with the defensive changes that we've brought in, we look more secure and almost rigid at times on the ball, which I think has been a good thing, but it's affected the intensity of the way that we press and play with the football at our feet. So still looking to strike a balance there, but we move into box number 6, and of course he doesn't come on, he plays the whole game, scores 2 goals, Tammy Abraham, massive confidence boosting game for him, particularly going back to the Emirates on Boxing Day, the place where he scored probably one of his biggest goals in a Chelsea shirt so far. Tammy Abraham scores two. The first one is a lovely little deft finish towards Fabianski's left after a beautiful passing from Timo Werner. The third one, Pulisic gets unlucky, but it comes to Tammy, he's onside, and he tucks it in the bottom corner again. When your striker's on the pitch, all you can ask him to do is score and win your football matches. And Tammy Abraham has done it against the London rival. Chelsea win 3-0. I thought Tammy at times tonight, for large portions of the game, wasn't having his best game. But I don't want to focus on any of that because goals breed confidence into a player, and I think it was a big night for him tonight. He's got the nod over Olivier Giroud, who's been playing and scoring recently. He even scored in that game against Wolves. I know I said that I don't think it was his best display. Frank Lampard's decision is vindicated. Chelsea get 3 points. Tammy gets 2 goals. Everybody is laughing and smiling. As I said at the beginning of the video, if you're not yet subscribed to GBFC, I'd love to ask you to do so. Got a couple of collabs coming out over the course of the next few days. And they're going to be some very interesting ones indeed. So you're going to want to not miss it. So make sure the bell notifications are turned on. If we can go for 6,000 likes on this 6 Things We Learnt video for 3 points for Chelsea, 3 goals, I'll be a very happy man. And I will see you all tomorrow with a brand new video. Come on, you Blues.